Hello, Scary Dolls.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Mandi.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Caro.
You're listening to Scary Not Scary Cast Pod.
Oh, that threw me off.
I told you I was going to do it one day, and I decided today's the day.
Today is the day.
Today is the day. Welcome to our 51st episode.
Yay.
Welcome.
We are in the 50s.
We're in the 50s. That's
Damn.
crazy.
That's freaking exciting.
That's a lot of episodes. It doesn't even feel like that many episodes.
No, but remember when we first...
I wonder if we would have been
started?
in our 60s if we didn't take our hiatus.
Probably.
Maybe our 70s. All depressed now. Let's not talk about that.
We don't talk about those times. Can we call them the dark times?
Yes.
The dark times.
The dark times.
Yes. We will say the dark times.
The dark times.
Say it. What?
I wasn't going to say anything.
What?
I saw
I
it. I
ate so much and now I'm like...
food coma.
You're in a
Yeah.
food coma.
Well, because I was real hungry. I'm always hungry.
Same.
So I left work today to go take a nap. I woke up hungover, but I wasn't hungover. Like, you know, when you take I'm going to take like an hour nap and it turns into like a 4-hour nap.
Oh,
And you wake up, you're like, oh, I feel like I drank.
Why does that happen? When you sleep too much, you're even more tired.
I don't know,
that
but-
always happens.
So then I woke up and my mom kept calling me. And I was like, what? And she was like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, I have a migraine. I left work early so I could come home and just sleep. And she's like, okay. And she's talking and she goes, do you want me to let you go? I'm like, yes.
Like, I love
mad. All
Your
mad.
poor
Yes,
mom.
you know.
you. I love you, but stop talking.
I was supposed to actually call her before I got here, but I forgot.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Michelle,
She's going to hear this
get
now.
her.
Damn.
Get her, girl.
She's going to know.
She's like, you're grounded. I'm not taking the kids this weekend. Damn it. That's how she gets me now.
like, darn.
You're grounded. I'm not babysitting the kids.
Damn it. She's like, no, please.
Take
I know.
them.
And then I put on my jeans that don't have a button on it, but it was already too late.
I don't even remember what I did at work. Just hang out with all my little friends.
Today went super fast.
All mad. She's on my face.
Mad dogging you.
What?
You know what's funny? I was listening to, I forgot which one of our episodes I was listening to, but we were talking about making like a motion or like a facial expression, and the way we were doing it was as if the listeners can see us doing it. I'm like, we need to start like talking about like what kind of expression we're making. Because there was one moment I think I was like, yeah, I was like, and we all got quiet because I was making the face or whatever like thing I was making. And then we started laughing and I was like, they don't even know what we were doing.
They're probably like, oh, those weirdos.
They're like, y'all, we can't see it.
My
Hello.
bad.
Oops.
Whoopsies.
See, this is why we need to record ourselves and post it on YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
We should do that.
Now that I'm losing weight, I'm feeling myself. So, like,
Same.
I want to show myself
I'm
off.
losing weight too.
I've lost 3 pounds.
But I don't know.
Fit fam.
I
Shut up, right?
I feel like nobody's gonna want me if I'm under 200 pounds now. Now I'm self-conscious.
What was the saying? You gotta be to something to do something.
I'll be 201.
Well, I already lost. I'm already 198.
I'm 2 something and extra change. That is what I am.
Cha-ching.
I am a few change away from my goal weight.
Yo, but it's so
Yay.
freaking hard. Like, you literally weigh this much and then you eat a donut and you weigh 20 pounds more the next day. It's
That's so
fucking
crazy,
weird.
right? And then like all the water weight too.
Yeah.
And then the boobs.
I drink a lot of water.
Like someone told me that one time where I was like, oh my God, I lost like 9 pounds. And they're like, oh, it's just water weight. And I'm like, rude.
It's just your face and I'm gonna
kill my confidence.
bitch. Oh, man.
They're all, it's just your hair because you picked it up. Bitches. I hate y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate y'all.
Just let me have my moment, okay? Let me have my 9 pounds of water weight.
I'm also a little bit
Water
stuffy
weight.
today.
Huh?
I'm a little bit stuffy today. So if I
Oh,
sound
yeah.
weird, that's why.
Allergies.
But not the good stuffy.
What does a good stuffy mean?
Good. What you're going to do later?
Oh my God, y'all are embarrassing. Now you gotta tell everyone.
You said it.
But you're thinking it.
Oh my God. Now everyone knows that I'm gonna get stuffed.
Oh my
my God.
You just said it.
Is this PG-13?
I think we have to change our thing to explicit content because we talk real dirty on our podcast. I feel like we're getting dirtier and dirtier each year.
We're getting more comfortable with you guys, so that's a good sign.
What did you say, Ash? Late nights with Scary Not Scary podcast?
Scary, not scary. After hours.
There you go.
After hours.
All sex
Gonna be like,
hours. After hours.
I'm sorry.
1-800.
You guys have to see that movie.
I love that
the
movie.
best movie ever. It's called For a Good Time Call.
I've never seen
It's
that.
so great. It's these two friends.
It's so fun.
And they decide to open up a sex line.
Uh-huh.
And they make a lot of money. Like, that's how they pay their rent, their bills, everything. Like,
For
it's
real?
good money. Yeah.
But it's just so funny because they're laying in the bed and they're like fake moaning and people are like walking by like, what the fuck? Like, it's just so funny.
You know what I always think of whenever like we like say something like in a sexy voice? Valentine's Day, Anne Hathaway. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Where she's like on the phone, she's a sex caller,
yeah.
and she's like doing all these different noises.
She's like, my name is Olga.
What the fuck?
Like for different ones. Oh my God.
And she gets like her thing of rubber bands and she's like snapping them together. Oh, yeah, you like that?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We should do one, guys.
A sex hotline?
Imagine the money we can make.
Scary, not scary.
Like, ooh,
Hotline.
Sex hotline.
ooh, imagine this ghost penis. Okay, that's enough. We're getting a low.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
Why are we
Gather
like
your
this?
thoughts, ladies. You all started it. I wasn't gonna tell anyone what I was gonna my plans for tonight.
I said it without saying it and then you said it.
Oh,
Start with me.
I hope my family doesn't listen to this episode. Like, we know what you did on that day.
like what? Me? No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. That was
My
me.
bad. So today we're discussing how would I say it? Mythical creatures.
Mythical, yes.
There we go.
Fantasy.
How do I say it? What?
Mythical.
Creatures. Oh, my voice sounded real deep.
Creature
It scared
of the
me.
night. Oh no, that's not what it says, right? Never mind.
What?
I was thinking of now I can't remember the movie. Great. My mind is somewhere else.
On tonight.
No, what is it?
What?
That movie I'm always Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, yeah.
Does it say creature of the night? Does it say creature or what does it say? Because that's what's coming to my head.
I think it is creature.
Anyways.
Anywho.
Mythical creatures.
Mythical creatures.
At first I thought it meant mystical, but then I'm like, no, it's mythical.
Mystical. I wish I had like
Mythical
dust.
creatures. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I brought glitter. There you go.
Glitter me.
Okay, so since they're mystical creatures, I had to talk about the hippogriffs from Harry Potter.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
No, but they're really cute. Have you seen Harry Potter and the hippogriffs? Hagrid?
Yes.
I want one. But Nick won't let me have one.
I thought you said nipple and let me have one.
Well, I mean, he has a pair.
I swear, her nipple will let me have one. I'm like, oh, is that what we're calling him now?
Okay. So, hippogriffs. They are a legendary creature with the front half is an eagle or bird-like creature and the other half is like a horse. So it's like a half horse, half bird type of thing. So the hippogriff was invented by Ludovico Aristo. Sorry, don't know how to pronounce that. In the beginning of the 16th century. And it was actually first noted in a poem. So the hippogriff is a steed born of a mare and a griffin, something considered impossible. It is extremely fast and presented to be able to fly around the world and to the moon. It is ridden only by magicians and the wandering knights. So sometimes the hippogriffs are depicted like in what are those called? Like family crests and like, like shields and stuff.
Family shields.
Yeah. So it's like, they're depicted like on coats of arms and things like that. And the Hippogriff became a subject of visual art in the 19th century, and it was drawn by Gustave Doré.
I like that name.
Doré. Yeah.
Gustave.
So the word hippogriff actually comes from ancient Greek, which I think is funny because it's meaning hippo. Or, yeah, it's like ancient Greek hippos meaning horse, and the Italian griffo meaning griffin. So hippogriff,
Horse griffin.
Horse griffin. Yeah.
Gryffindor. Yeah.
So they are considered a legendary and mythical creature. And the word hippogriff, so it was, ancient Greek. So when it was actually depicted in English, the word hippogriff became adopted in 1615. So that's when it was officially called in English a hippogriff. So if you guys don't know what a hippogriff looks like, you should watch Harry Potter because 1, it's a really great movie, and 2, there's a hippogriff in it and it's awesome. And Harry flies it over the ocean or the pond that is in front of Hogwarts.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I'm going to read you guys a little bit of the poem where the hippogriff first was depicted in, from Ludovico Oristo. That's the guy who wrote the poem. Okay. So his poem goes, "No fiction wrought magic lore, but natural was the steed the wizard pressed. For him a filly to griffin bore, height hippogriff, in wings and beak and crest. Form like this his sire, as in the feet before, but like the mare his dam and all the rest." So he's basically like describing like what the hippogriff looks like. So it's a half bird, half horse creature like thing. So they have claws that are armed with talons. They have wings which are covered in feathers, and the rest of his body is being of a horse. It's said to be an evil spirit, resting and possessing its soul in that of a horse and a griffin. So back then it was considered like an evil, like way back then considered like an evil kind of like creature, because it was like supposed to be like an impossible combination like of two creatures together. Okay. And so according to Spanish historians, this creature was supposed to live near I don't know if I'm saying this right, Crete, which is modern day France today. So apparently claw marks were found on rocks near Mas Carol back then. The belief is that the existence of the hippogriff is fiercely attacked in a scientific essay on religion in 1862, which argues that no such animal can neither be a divine creation or truly exist. So they were saying like there's no way like God or any type of like Greek god or anything could have created this creature because of how like weird and, you know, unnatural.
Random.
Yeah, like random and unnatural it is. So it has to be like some sort of like evil spirit. But apparently there is a book, the Book of Enoch, quite clearly details how Satan and his fallen angels created various hybrids and mixtures of animals. So there's one that's really well known, the Sphinx. That one is also kind of like related to the hippogriff. But the hippogriff, of course, is supposed to be not just a mixture of the bird and the horse, but it's said to be a mixture of several animals in this book, not like in general, but in this book specifically. And so the reason he says it's supposed to be a mixture of several animals is because it has to be able to support the weight of the horse, but it also flies. So how can like a bird, like, you know, it doesn't have really huge, I mean, it has huge wings, but like they're not so big. So they're kind of like, how can this creature fly and carry its weight like as a horse? You know what I mean? And then the wings are supposed to be like so light but heavy and fast at the same time to where it can fly like super fast. So it's saying like there's no way it can just be a bird and a horse. Like it has to be mixed with other animals in order to like support
the weight.
The weight and everything of it. So, but now in modern days, the hippogriff is said to be a symbol of love, as is its parents, which is the mare and the griffin. Which is funny because the mare and the griffin are actually, in a lot of books, considered to be like foes or enemies towards each other. So they're saying like nowadays it's a symbol of love because the two came together and they made a hippogriff. Yeah. And in other traditions, like the Christian or the Catholic, like Christianity religion, it's supposed to be a symbol of dual nature, human and divine. So back then it was considered to be evil. Nowadays it's considered to be like a sign of like love and like divine and, you know, good stuff, happy stuff. So the hippogriff, the way it becomes like a fantasy creature, is because it comes up a lot in Dungeons and Dragons, like the game Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. But it does include like different versions of the creature. So in Dungeons and Dragons, it is described as having a horse's ears, neck, mane, and torso, and the hind legs, but the eagle's wings, forelegs, and face. So it has like a beak, feathers, all that kind of stuff. And then it says that the hippogriff is also closely related to a Pegasus or a Pegasi. So kind of like from Hercules, like the Pegasus. Hippogriffs and Pegasi and horses are all hunted by griffins, which is like I don't know if it's the dad or the mom. the griffin is like
parents hunt them or hunt them.
The griffin does.
Oh.
Because the hippogriff is like a mix of the mare and the griffin. But apparently it's like all hunted by griffins. So I'm like,
why? They like to eat their young?
Why do you do that?
Girl, you're an abomination.
How young?
Oh my God. Okay. So the hippogriff has come in so many different artworks. It has been viewed more so as like fantasy. So it comes out in like, of course, Harry Potter. Obviously, that's like number one. But it also appears, which I didn't know, the movie or the little show My Little Pony. Have you guys ever seen? Why do you?
What's in your nose? Sorry. Let's compose ourselves, ladies.
Nose was running. Sorry.
So it appears in like a lot of other like Harry Potter, Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of like fantasy movies. But the one that I was kind of like, that's crazy, is it comes in the movie My Little Pony, where they were transformed into sea ponies. They were also in season 8 premiere of this show, and the hippogriff is a reoccurring character called Silverstream on My Little Pony.
That sounds like a sexy name.
Of course.
Silverstream.
I don't watch My Little Pony though.
I never watched it either. Like, yeah.
I was like,
I see it on Netflix, but Sabrina doesn't watch it.
So
not that.
They also come out in like animes and things like that. So, for those of you who play Dungeons and Dragons, I found this on dndbeyond.com. Here's a picture of like a hippogriff from Dungeons and Dragons. So, I thought it was cool because it shows like the hippogriff's like stats, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the
cute.
stats of the hippogriff. So, I don't know, like you guys, whoever playing D&D, you're going to have to tell me like what this means, but I'm just going to read it off.
Why don't you ask Drew and Nick?
Oh, they probably know. Yeah, I should have asked Nick. Darn. Yeah. Okay. So the armor class is 11. It gets 19 hit points. It can run 40 feet, and then it also can fly up to 60 feet. The skills are perception +5. Keen sight. The hippogriff has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight. I don't know what that means. So it can do a multi-attack. The Hippogriff makes 2 attacks, one with its beak and one with its claws. And then here's another description. The Hippogriff is a magical creature possessing the wings and forelimbs of an eagle, the hindquarters of a horse, and the head that combines the features of both animals. A Hippogriff is raised in captivity, and it can be trained to be a faithful companion, and you can mount the Hippogriff. But if you watch Harry Potter, you got to be like slow and easy and nice. You can't be like Malfoy and try and go all in there because they will break your damn arm. So you got to be nice.
Boy.
And they are very loyal once they are trained properly. So they will be your best buddy for life. And they are easiest to train. So they are very, very nice, cuddly creatures. And they are awesome. And they can fly. They're an eagle. They're a horse. And they are really, really cool.
Everything in one.
Everything in one. Everything you ask for. You know what I thought of? I thought of like a big dog. Like while reading this, I was like, oh my God, they're
like the big 3-headed dog from Harry Potter. Why didn't you choose that?
Because he's scary. I like the
him.
Hippogriff. The Hippogriff is a lot nicer. Nicer. But yeah, so that is a Hippogriff, guys. And I want one as a pet.
Me too.
No?
That would be cool.
Hippogriff?
Hippogriff.
The gas prices wouldn't even matter.
I know. I'm like, all the fairies, I would have to buy all the fairies and just kill them.
Flying to work on a Hippogriff.
Be like, I'll be there in 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
It's like 8:58. I'll be there in 3 minutes.
Dude,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Hippogriffs.
Mm-hmm.
When you said it, I was like, well, you can talk about hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
Or hippogriffs.
Yeah. Oh, there was one more thing. So I don't know if you guys have, you know, that book from Harry Potter. Well, it's not Harry Potter, but it's Fantastic Beasts, the creature book, like the Newt Scamander's. But y'all don't know that one? Do y'all know that one? No.
Say it again.
Newt Scamander's creature book where it has like, okay.
Uh-huh.
So the Hippogriff, if y'all didn't know, the Harry Potter, the Hippogriff's name is Buckbeak. He's really, really cute.
Yes, he's a cutie pie.
They like to burrow for insects. So like worms and things in the dirt and things like that. That's what they like to eat. Yeah.
Hippogriffs like to eat worms?
Insects.
I would have thought there would be bigger things.
How come Hermione was feeding him ferrets?
Well, you can feed them like other things too, but they like to burrow like for...
I need to read my book again because I have that book.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, they eat like meat and
interesting.
What was she feeding? Dead ferrets. That's what she was feeding them.
Yeah, dead ferrets.
Dead ferrets. Yeah. So they're like meat and stuff.
Handy. They stink.
She was just like,
that's cool.
and then he would catch it.
Oh my God, that reminds me. When there was this listing on Craigslist and somebody was like, for sale. And it was like, weird cat snake. It was a ferret. Weird. It said weird cat snake. It's weird.
God.
And it smells like $5 and it's yours.
I can't.
Who's next? Me?
You're next, my little Carolina.
Hello. We're going to make this sexy. I'm just kidding. We're not. Okay, guys. So I already knew I was going to kind of talk about something like this, but I'm talking about sirens.
Of course.
Of course.
I was going to sing, but I was like, no, I'm too stuffy for it.
Yep. Today we're going to be talking about sirens, which when I was reading this, it kind of freaked me out because it's totally not what I expected. So I went into the World History Encyclopedia and searched siren. The definition is that sirens were creatures from Greek mythology that enticed sailors to their destruction with their irresistibly beautiful singing. That's so hot. I think that's fucking hot. Anyway, the origins and the attributes. The sirens were hybrid creatures. So this is where like it's different. So they were creatures with the body of a bird and the head of a woman.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes they also had human arms. And later on it changed. And then it was said that females, that sirens had female heads and torsos with the fishtail from the belly button down. So those are kind of the sirens we know, but like if you search them up in Greek mythology, they're totally different. One story of origin is that there was these sirens that were friends with, I can never say this name, Persephone?
Persephone, yeah.
Persephone?
Yes.
Something happened because they were supposed to be like besties or whatever, and they failed to protect her and prevent her rape.
What?
Somebody, I guess, that's what it said in the dictionary. So it said they were transformed into sirens as a punishment. Persephone, if you guys didn't know, is the Greek goddess of agriculture and vegetation. And I also read that she's the wife of Hades.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that book that I'm reading, I'm telling you, is their love story, and it's hot.
Ooh.
Wow.
Some like
Very
that.
hot. It's very smutting hot.
So it is said that these sirens lived on an island between Italy and Sicily. I love to say that. It just rolls the tongue, right? Italy and Sicily. There is where they would wait for ships to pass by, and with their lovely music, they entice sailors to their doom. Again, that's so hot to me. Like, come here, bitch, I'm gonna kill you.
But like in a sexy way, though.
Come here, daddy, and then slash. I'm just kidding. And the meadows of the sirens' homes were said to have been layered with rotting corpses of their victims. Sailors that would navigate that way would stick wax in their ears so that way they wouldn't hear anything and they would arrive home safely.
Oh, wow.
There was a prophecy said that if a mortal were to ever resist the sirens' techniques, the sirens would die. So
that's how you kill them?
yeah. Just don't pay attention. Don't pay attention. I would just wear my AirPods. Just kidding. So the difference between a mermaid and a siren, in the original myths, sirens were similar to a combination of a woman and a bird. They were dark and twisted creatures who attracted sailors with their gifts simply to kill them. And mermaids are totally opposite. They were said to be originated in, I can't say this, Assyria, but can be found in many cultures. These creatures were beautiful women, typically peace-loving, who tried to stay away from humans, and singing was not one of their attributes. At some point in history, the myths kind of combined. They like crossed paths and they just combined, which is so weird because they're totally different, like a bird and a fish. I don't know how that happened. So now the sirens symbolize temptation and desire, which can lead to destruction and risk. Since sirens symbolize like temptation and desire, they were saying that sirens represent sin. I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. So then in closing, I even said in closing, I looked up 5 sirens and mermaids that were like top stories of sirens or whatever. Little Mermaid was the first one that came out, but it's The Little Mermaid by Christian Andersen. This one was the dark tale, so apparently the mermaid suffers a lot through the story, and then she doesn't even like get the prince at the end. So I kind of remember bits and pieces from the story, but not really. I just know that like something happened to her feet. I don't know, but this story was not. It was not a Disney one. It was bad. Peter Pan is number 2. If you guys remember that whole ass mermaid, try to drown Wendy, and so she was nasty to everyone but Peter Pan. Those mermaids, I guess, they were hoes. Yeah. 3 was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, when they had those creatures that were kind of mermaids but not really, and they looked like long fish.
Remember? Yeah.
So those were another ones. Number 4, the sea goddess Ceto from Greek mythology is one of the most fascinating stories. Ceto means sea monster, and together with her brother, she is said to have a legion of monstrous creatures. So that's cool. And the last one, her name is Laura Lee. This one is from German folklore. Laura Lee is a famous siren that is said to lure sailors to their deaths with her singing. The legend is inspired by a rock. So there's a rock in Germany that sometimes you can hear a strange humming coming from it, like if it's singing. People say that they can hear the rock humming, and the legend goes that there was a woman that was like betrayed by her lover and like accused of like bewitching men, something like that. Anyway, I don't know what happened, but she fell on top of this rock and she died. And now they say that the humming is in the echo of her voice. That's like that rock. And so when people hear it, it's like
a death call?
Like a death, like her being dead on that rock. I don't know. But that's kind of cool though.
That's like her, what is it? It's her, not mating call.
Mating call?
Say that. It's her, what is it? Like when somebody dies and they have like a...
Like they leave their after?
It's like her mark, pretty much.
Oh,
like...
well, the humming's coming from a freaking rock.
A death
now
call.
I don't even know.
Her death call.
Her death call.
Her death echo. I don't know.
Echo.
I can't think right now.
Me neither. But that is Sirens. I was actually going to do Mermaid and Mermaids, but I was like, let me see why Mermaids and Sirens are
different.
Totally different.
And the show Sirens is really good.
I never seen it.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they have it on, it was ABC Family. It's
yeah.
like, what is it now?
Freeform or whatever it's called.
But it's really good. I liked it.
Well, that's good. But yes, that was my short little thing on Sirens. I was actually going to do dragons.
Dragons?
I was going to do dragons and I was going to tell you something.
What?
I think you should tell her anyways.
Yeah. Do you like dragons?
I can't take you seriously with your nose.
Do you like dragons, Ashley?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be dragging these nuts across your face. That's how I was going to start it off.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
She hesitated. Yeah. She was scared. She's scared of her nuts.
They're nice.
Okay, let's
see
if I can get through mine.
Good luck. And don't fuck it up like RuPaul said.
I'm going to fuck it all up. I'm going to fuck it up. Okay. So, surprise, yarn surprise.
I'm not surprised.
I'm going to be talking about fairies. Fairies. So, there's like a million different types of fairies. I'm going to be focusing on just like a few things. And they have like a super long history. There's like articles and books about them. But basically they originated in the UK. They're very popular in Ireland, especially, Avi. Basically like these fairies weren't like mentioned by name. It was like to be cursed. Like if you said fairies or like the fur folk or the fae or fairies, it was like bad luck. Because if you talked about them back then or whatever, like you were like pretty much like conjuring them to come to your home. So there's like many explanations that have given for belief in fairies. Some say that they're like ghosts or spirits of the dead, fallen angels. They're neither bad enough for hell or good enough for heaven. They're tricksters. There's different kinds of fairies. Some are minute creatures. Others are very like gastric. Some can fly. Others can appear and disappear at will. There's a lot of these creatures that are also like can be like trolls almost. So like there's like so many different kinds, and like the list can go on and on. But fairies are usually conceived as being like characteristically beautiful or handsome, and they can also correspond as like humans. They can live longer than humans. Some of them do have immortal life. They have no souls. So when they die, they just die. That's it.
Oh, wow.
There's also something called the hunt. So like there's fairies that are picked up by what's called the night hunt. And basically like you're cursed to live the rest of your life. When there's a war that happens, those fairies go and pick up the dead bodies, and like bodies join the nightly hunt. It's pretty interesting. Like I said, I can go on and on about it. And they're also known to steal human children. And they leave what's called changeling kids behind. Hence, that's what I'm going to talk about too. And also in the pre-Christian books, they are talked about like the people of the dead. So like there's a lot of things that happen back then that they said that there's humans that can be transported to the fairyland, but they can't return if they eat or drink there. But fairies are very tricksters. Like they'll trick you into like eating without knowing that you eat something there. Like for example, and this was like something I will always remember because everybody knows I'm a big reader. So from the Shadowhunters series, there's a part in Shadow of Bone where they end up going to Shadow of Bone, Ash, Glass, Shadow of I think it's part 2, Ash. So they go to the fairyland and the fairies like, oh, welcome, and like they're giving like, you know, the humans like treats and like a cup of tea, and one of the characters is like, make sure you don't drink that. And she's like, why? He's like, because you'll end up staying here forever. And she's like, okay. So she doesn't drink it, right? She's holding the cup, and like the plant that was in the cup like poked her finger. So because it pricked her finger, to get rid of the blood, she put her finger in her mouth. Well, the piece of plant had a little bit of juice when it poked her, so she technically drank it. So they tried keeping her there forever. So they're tricksters.
Sneaky.
Yeah, they're very sneaky. So fairy and human lovers is like a huge thing. So like there's supposedly a lot of humans that are also half fae. There are some restrictions to marriages. For example, if like the human violates the marriage, then the fae courts are allowed to kill the human. There are some fairy women that are deadly to human lovers. So be careful if you end up having sex with the fairies. She can kill you while you're having sex.
What's up, girl?
Fairies are said to be human size or smaller, down to the height of 3 inches or less. Female fairies may tell fortunes, particularly prophesizing births or foretelling deaths. There's like several herbs and stuff that you can keep around the house to give like as tokens to the fairies. But what I really wanted to focus on is changelings, because I think it's scary and like interesting, and it's scary like in its own way. But what is a changeling? So a changeling is most often referring to as a fairy that is swapped or replaced a human baby. So fun fact, fairies are very fantasized by humans, but they call it like the beautiful children. So like if your baby's born, a fairy can come and like swap your baby out with a changeling, but a changeling can be anything. So there's one folklore that says a fairy can swap your baby out, like they'll take your baby back to fairyland, and then your child will grow up to be a servant for the family, and then they want their child to grow up and be taught the human ways. So when the time comes, they come and snatch your baby and take it back to the fairyland, because in some of their worlds it's popular for their kids to grow up and know about humans and like kind of know like our ways. It's like the popular thing to do. That's one. The second one is that there's like troll-like fairies that steal the human babies, eat them, then they glamorize themselves to be a baby. And like they're pretty much like they get off on like tricking the human families of like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
They're a baby.
Imagine me breastfeeding my kid and it's a grown-ass fairy.
I know. There's another one, and it's pretty sad. So there's another one that they'll take your baby because they want a human child of their own. And they said it's mainly like the beautiful children, like blonde hair, blue eyes. I think all babies are cute, but specifically like blonde hair, blue eyes. Like if they see like a blonde hair, blue eyed baby, or like just a beautiful baby to them in general, they'll take your baby. They'll get like a thing of sticks and glamorize the thing of sticks into a baby. So like you'll be carrying your baby, not knowing that you're really carrying like a pile of sticks in your hand.
What the fuck?
And then like something will happen. Like your baby will get sick, and then your baby will die. And then one folklore says that like these parents will bury their children thinking they're burying their child, but really they're burying like a pile of sticks because the Fae glamorized the pile of sticks and they took your baby back to their world.
What the fuck?
Weird.
It's pretty fucked up, but it's kind of scary too if you think about it. Like,
that's weird. There's a movie called Changeling, isn't there?
yeah, but that's different.
Oh,
It's with
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah, it's the one where it's called the chicken coop killer, where her son gets kidnapped and one of him and a friend run away, but they can't find him. And yeah, that's really good too.
That's different.
Yeah,
Because the kid came back and then she was like, "That's not my kid. That's not my kid." And then everyone thought she was crazy.
Yeah, so they were saying that was her kid, but it wasn't. It was like some little boy that lied or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a couple of other things on here. So back then, like in the medieval times, when people saw that a baby had like a birthmark, or like if a baby had some kind of like deformity to them, they were said that they're changelings, so they weren't human. So like back then in the medieval times, like these parents would literally scream and yell at these babies demanding for their name, because in order to like get rid of like the changeling, like the glamour, you have to get the fairy to say their name, to say what their name is, or like do something out of the ordinary for them to like talk and give you their name, almost like an exorcism. So like back in the medieval times, like if a baby was born with like a big birthmark on their forehead, or like, you know how Jason and call his little nub, he has like a little tag on his ear. If they're born like that, like a little tag on their ear, then they would think, oh my God, a fairy stole my baby. This isn't really my baby. So let me scream and yell at this baby to give me their true name so the glamour could go away and I can get my baby back.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's horrible.
I'd be like, why are you yelling at your kid?
It's horrifying. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. It's crazy. So yeah, so in order to defeat the changeling, you basically have to like get them to tell you their name or do something out of the ordinary for the glamour to go away. So like something out of the ordinary would be like you're cooking eggs, and instead of like putting the egg yolk in the pan, you throw the egg yolk away and then you put the eggshell in the pan. So they'll kind of be like, well, that's weird, and then start talking.
Oh,
yeah, something like that. So it's almost like you have to trick them.
Trick it, yeah.
Yeah.
He's all, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, that's fucking
dumb
weird.
Bitch.
Dumb human.
Oh my God.
And here's our ways you can know that your child is a changeling or
I don't have children, but
suspected
let's
to be
see.
one. And let me tell you, my kids fit all of these categories.
I knew it.
Word.
So your baby, you can tell your child is a changeling by your baby having an unusual feature or birthmark. Your child has an aversion to iron. So fun fact, iron is like a way you can like rid of fairies or keep them away from your house in general.
Iron.
And another reason why they take your babies is if your baby isn't baptized. Something like that. If your baby's not baptized,
get Sophia baptized.
they can take your baby. But you can put like wards or like little what do you call them? The little like tokens and stuff around your baby, or like get a cast or get like an iron crib for your baby so they don't steal it. So buy her iron crib.
Can I put a cast iron skillet by her?
Under
that
the pillow.
Under the pillow?
I'm gonna do that to
skillet?
Jason. He's not baptized either. Okay, so give Sophia the cast iron, and if she screams and cries because you give it to her, it means she's a fairy and she's a changeling.
Damn it.
You and then another thing is that you have a sudden string of bad luck. Like as soon as you have a child, you just have one thing after another happening to you. Mind you guys, this is just like, you know, something we found on the internet.
Shit.
It doesn't mean if you have bad luck, it doesn't mean it's your kid's fault.
Yeah,
don't take it out.
it's
on your
okay.
kid, please.
Don't scream at your kid for their name.
Your child won't stop eating.
Oh shit.
Sabrina eats like a man, so I
does
mean,
Sophia.
Your child starts misbehaving.
Oh, she's too little.
That's my kid. Your child is unusually intelligent. Your child is aggressive or mean. That's my kid too.
Yep.
She does slap me a lot.
Your child is unusually withdrawn.
Okay, no.
So like the withdrawn part, they say that that's like because your child was glamored like from sticks or like a piece of tree or like a loaf of bread. aggressive, mean, and like your child won't stop eating. It's supposed to be like the mean, grumpy, like fat trolls that eat your child, and like they glamorize themselves to like be your kid. It's so weird, but it's funny.
I'm sorry. The loaf of bread is so good.
Can you imagine? You're rocking your baby and it's like a spoiled loaf of bread. That's horrible. Why are you laughing?
Not even the good bread.
Kid.
This is healthy shit.
So believe it or not, there's people out there that like really believe that. Well, obviously, like I think they're real, like to an extent. But if you ever like want to communicate to them or like leave them offerings, some of the offerings you can leave them is like a beer or champagne in like a walnut shell and put it like outside your house or like in your garden.
So they love to party.
Yeah, you can buy organic berries and put it outside like as an offering. Give them bird seeds. You can put crystals outside. Big or small, doesn't matter. They'll take them. Organic rose petals, wildflower seeds, blessed water. They'll take the blessed water. Organic mushrooms.
Only
organic stuff.
Sure, shiny nickels or dimes. And then this one girl said that she really thought that she had fairies in her backyard because she had like a huge flower bed. And she said that she would find wings like thrown in her flower bed and it threw her off.
Wings?
So she thought that she thought that these fairies were like partying in her garden. So she was like leaving them little trinkets in her garden.
She's like leaving him little like drinks.
They're partying at night while she's sleeping. Can you imagine? You just see like disco lights coming from her flower
she's
beds.
like, I didn't know how to go about it or like what to think of it. She's like, I instantly thought of fairies. She's like, so I made this article just in case anybody doesn't know how to like not offend them. This is what you can do. You can just like leave them offerings. And believe it or not, there's like people on TikTok too that talk about like that they have like an infestation of fairies. Like I said, there's different types of fairies. There's fairies that like are intrigued with humans and want to be around them, and then there's some that like are mischievous and just like want to make your life a living hell. So there was this one TikTok I saw, this lady that was like super exhausted. She's like, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I hear these little bastards at my house at night. She's like, I'm gonna have to get like cast iron this and iron and buy like iron to put around my house. So she literally like went and got like iron. Was it like she makes it like into like not salt but like dirt, but it's iron, like crushed
like
iron, shavings
stuff?
of iron, and put it all around her house, at the creases of her door, on her windows, in the driveway to try to keep the fairies out.
Wow.
It's so weird.
What sounds do they make?
They're all, ooh, baby, I'm stuck to you like glue.
So it just depends. Like a lot of people say that you can hear like giggles or like stuff is like missing in your house and it magically appears, but it's kind of like the same as ghosts. Like ghosts can like take stuff and like move it around. And they also kind of remind me of Grula's kids.
Oh,
like they can go and mess things. Grilla. They can go and like mess things up for you, or like make your life a living hell, or like they're just, I don't know, they're just weird. And also, if you see a fairy circle, don't walk through it, walk around it.
Yes.
Because if you walk through it, you are disturbing and you're disrespecting them, and that's what puts a target on your back.
Don't be disrespectful.
If you don't know what a fairy circle is, it's basically like a ring in the yard. It could be like a ring of flowers, a ring of grass, a ring of mushrooms. Like, do not walk through it, walk around it. Rocks. That's a sign showing that fairies were there at one point or another. What else do I have for you? Oh, I want to talk about this one story, and it's interesting. This is called The Haunted Fairy House in Ireland. So there's this one house in Ireland. People moved in, and then suddenly they would just like end up dead, like a week or two later. What? And then another person would move in, And a month or two later, they end up dead. There's this one. So it's in Lixnaw, Ireland. It's a cottage at the edge of the bog.
The bog.
What the fuck is that?
So it's like this cottage that's like around this wooded area. And basically, like, it's super unsettling. A lot of the neighbors around there, there's one story of one man that dozed off with a lit cigarette. And then suddenly the house lit on fire. So you're kind of like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. The house would light on fire if anybody like falls asleep lighting a cigarette. Well, in 2013, neighbors found the body of Susan Dune, 62. She was in one of the cottage bedrooms. She had moved in 18 months earlier with her autistic teenage son, who stands accused of her murder. Patrick Dune which is her son, Patrick Dune. He's 19 and he's being held in the mental hospital. And he's like saying like he didn't kill his mom. There's also another one that raised commotion. There was like another person that was like found dead in the home. So like every time somebody moves in, like they're dead, like they end up dead. So a lot of the neighbors are like, no, like these people are dying because we think that this house is like built on or around like fair folk, or it's built on like where they bury their family, like their graveyard or something. Yeah. One of the neighbors actually went and left an offering, like fairy offerings, and he went back the next day and it was gone. And he didn't tell anybody where he was leaving it. He just like left it out and it was gone. So a lot of the neighbors are like, no, like it's all bullshit. Like they're going to knock this down. Like they're talking about knocking down the cottage. And a lot of the neighbors are protesting on it because they're like, if you knock this down, like you're going to make the fairies more mad. It's already built on top of their graveyard, basically. If you knock it down, you're going to make things worse for the whole neighborhood. Like the whole neighborhood's going to get infested, like with these fairies and stuff. So like all of these neighbors are like truly like, no, these people are dying because of fairies.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But it's not their fault. Whoa.
They went to the news stations, like they've spoken out about it, and like they're all like, people believe them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to go to Ireland. I feel like that's where I'm meant to be.
I want to go to Iron Man.
Yeah, so they said that it might be built like on a fairy path or like a funeral path, and that's why it's causing like all of these problems.
Wow.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fairies. So if you think you have fairy infestation, leave them offerings. If they're mean fairies, get iron. Wear iron. Get iron crumbs. Put them everywhere.
An iron skillet. You'll be good.
If your baby is born looking like an old person, it's probably a changeling.
When you said like birthmarks, I was like, I have a birthmark. Am I a changeling? But it's not.
Probably.
Dun dun dun.
I have 2 birthmarks.
You have 2?
Yeah.
I thought about getting a tattoo to cover mine because it's like on my side, but then I'm like, nah.
It's you, baby.
It looks like
it's a natural tattoo.
True.
Oh, my nose ring.
But yeah, that's fairies. Also, that's why there's that. That's why there's that thing going around about black-eyed children being fairies. They're almost like they're the fairy children that were left to be raised by humans, but they were abandoned because they had like different weird traits and they got away and they like built like their own
little community
almost.
Fun
Weird
fact, the first time I ever heard about like different types of fairies or like fae and stuff was the show True Blood. Do y'all remember that show True Blood?
I love that show.
That was the very first.
No.
I want to get bit by a vampire.
Yeah,
I don't. I'd be like, what bitch wanna fight?
Fight.
Yeah, there's so much more into fairies, and there's like a lot of fairy books out there and a lot of spicy fairy books. So if you want to look them up. Touch of Darkness, that's what that one's called, with Persephone and Hades.
Touch of Darkness.
Persephone.
I'm so glad you finally got to talk about fairies.
Yeah,
A year.
It's been a whole year that I've been trying to talk about fucking fairies. And it's like not even everything I wanted to talk about. I have to like really tone it down. So maybe I'll do a bonus episode by myself where I'm just talking about fairies. If y'all like to read, There is this book called A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. It's really good. Holly Black, a lot of her books are like featured around fairies. And then of course, Cassandra Clare, the Shadowhunter series, like has a lot of like the fae in there too. So it's very interesting. I think y'all should pick up some of these books. Some of them are smut, but it's okay. I heard on one of these books that there's a fairy whose thing gets up bigger and fatter.
What?
He
What
changes
book is that?
into like the perfect size for you.
What?
I don't read, but what's up?
She's what name? What is the name of that book? The author.
That's
Amazon?
on
I already have it in my cart.
the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas, and supposedly there's like a threesome too in there that's really good. And I actually started reading the first book, so
You'll let us know.
I'll let you know. I'll come back and report next week.
I'm gonna look into my Amazon cart already.
Oh man.
Ooh. But yeah, that's it.
Yay!
So don't listen to sirens. Be careful with your babies, but don't scream and yell at them because I'll hurt you.
Don't scream and yell.
And if you want a pet, talk
Get a
to
hippogriff.
Ashley. Get a hippogriff.
Get a hippogriff. And watch Harry Potter, please, because it's awesome.
Watch Harry Potter and read.
Yes.
And
Watch
sing.
Harry Potter, read.
And sing, even if you sing ugly like
You
me.
will open your imagination to a whole new world.
If you want us to do another episode on mythical creatures, email us at scarynotscarypodcast@gmail.com. Visit our website, scarynotscarypodcast.com. Follow us on all social media at Scary Not Scary Podcasts. You can also rate and review us on iTunes. Please rate and review us. Tell your parents, tell your family, tell your grandparents, tell your
Tios, friends,
everybody. Promote
coworkers,
us everywhere.
coworkers.
Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Podbean. We do live shows there. And
That's it.
I did it.
Yeah.
You did it again. I swear. I was like, I'm going to miss something because I'm out of it today. But yes, I think that's it.
That's it.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away. Go back. She couldn't.
I love me.
Okay, until next time, remember to always stay